All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started. You guys, go ahead and give me an audio check. How's the audio sound? Let me know if it's too loud, too quiet, if it comes in clear. And we'll go ahead and get started on the live stream today. If you guys are new, this is a stock market technical analysis live stream. We basically go through the charts, look at trade ideas from last week, maybe try to find some new trade ideas for the future. And that's it. One disclaimer, guys, a little bit of a rough night for me last night. I had a wedding to go to, and yeah, you guys know the deal, so bear with me, but figured I'd still do the live stream. I'm feeling fine. I just, tired, but that's what they made coffee for, I guess. So we'll go ahead and get started. Looks like my audio is good, and we'll get into these charts. Okay, so I did open up the live stream to the general public for now. We'll just keep going with that, see how that works out. And if you guys are a private member group, hopefully you had a good week last week. I think my week in general was pretty good. We didn't get the sell-off on Friday that I was looking for, but I don't see any change or reason to change my position as of now. So I went into the weekend short. Let me show you guys what I was looking at and kind of the reason why. So here's the price action on, this is basically Friday right here. And we've got this trend line that, you can adjust it. If I go down to the 15 minute, I think it's a little easier to see, but here on the hourly, you can see that you've got this little bearish rising wedge. It's not a very big wedge, but there's the widest part of the wedge. And if you kind of mark it out, the target right there is pretty much putting us in the 270 area, maybe 270, 280. Somewhere right in there looks like the area of support. So I think that's where we're heading, probably early next week. And that's why I stayed short for one. And then also, you see how the price action on Friday, they were just kind of popping it above. Really in the last half hour or so, it was just kind of popping above the that 280 area, 279.50, 280, just kind of grinding up there. That's just noise in my mind. All right, stop raids, things like that. So I'm okay with that price action, and we still have negative divergence. So they didn't take the divergence out. Now on Monday, if we gap up, which is always possible, we always have to understand both sides of a trade. If we gap up and we start to burn through these divergences on the hourly chart, so maybe it'll look like that, where all of a sudden we're making new higher highs. Okay, that's bullish. All right, if that happens and we gap up and burn through the divergences, then we probably need, it's hard to stay in a short at that point because we don't have any technical reason to. So, I'd probably look to get out of my short, start exiting my short positions and start covering those. That would be for a loss, of course. We don't win them all. But as of now, we have the negative divergences. We're just barely over that resistance level, and it was just at the end of the day kind of looks like running stops and stuff. So I suspect what happens is we gap down or at least open around the 280 area and then sell down. All right, so I'm looking for a pullback. As of now, the two targets that I got, and my most favorable one, I think, is this 270. All right, it's about 270 right there. That's where I think we go. But we do have, there's three levels of support, and we've got a level at 274.75. All right, that was your former high. This is an hourly chart, so it's very kind of micro stuff, but I think we very good probability of hitting that, and then just below that, 272.75, and then that 270. It's about 270. We'll just call it 270.50. All right, and then if I look at the futures, same deal. NASDAQ futures. This is an hourly chart. All right, negative divergence. So, and look, we popped above, kind of made a new higher high. It's a divergent high. There's a very high probability that this high fails And that's what I'm looking for. You see the RSI. Let me zoom in on the RSI. It's starting to turn down. See that right there? Starting to turn down. So starting to confirm the negative divergence. And then the PPO has not turned down yet. So we do need to see that kind of turn down. All right. So I think we roll over. All right. And have a pullback. Of course, this could, also be the start of the next leg lower in the bear market. We are in a bear market, so if I go to the daily chart, the larger time frame, nothing says that we have to just go down to 270 and then continue to rally from there. We've obviously been in a rally. I think we probably rally a little more, to be honest. But, we've had 3 tests of this level right here at 260. 1, 2, 3, really 4. So I think we probably are maybe going to do some sort of a rally and even probably break this bear market trend. I think there's a decent chance of that. This bear market trend right here that we've been in since 2022. It's, in my mind, that doesn't mean we're going to start a new bull market, but I think it will be a good, it's going to get everybody bullish, and it's going to be a bear market rally, I believe. So maybe break the bear market trend and head up to this 293 area, somewhere right in there. I don't think we'll go much beyond that. That would probably be my final target. I've got levels overhead, but I think my final target would probably be about that 293 as of right now. The reason why I think we could continue to rally after a pullback is big, look at this bullish divergence here on the daily chart. All right. So all this price action here was pretty much divergent lows. So usually that's good for more than just this. It's just not going to go straight up. All right. So maybe we pull back and then continue to rally a little bit more. And then up here, down we go. All right. But I don't know how long it's going to take. Could take some time. So that's why I don't trade options. For me, it's more about just picking the direction, finding the key levels, and hitting profit targets, not really trying to guess the amount of time it takes. All right, and so I'll segue into some of these stock picks you guys have, because that brings up a point on natural gas. The one that I was kind of buying was Boyle. I did get rid of it, not yesterday, it was the day before. It was down a little bit. I definitely was down. It wasn't a very large position, and the one thing that natural gas is the widowmaker, so it's, to take a large position is just crazy gambling. And again, we need to keep our money so that we can make money on the winning trades. So it was a small position, but the reason why I didn't like it, and it's still natural gas to me is, it's okay, all right? It's still okay. If I get to the hourly chart here, you can see we still have bullish divergence on the PPO, and it's still there really by the skin of its teeth on the RSI, but it is there still. So bullish divergence, we did just make a new divergent low, so I do think we rally, but it's the problem with, so I like natural gas, like the futures is okay. I don't trade futures, but I would want to buy the futures right down here. But I was buying Boyle, and Boyle has the time decay. And so if this thing just goes sideways, Boyle's going to lose money. That's the problem I have. So I like it. I think we're near the bottom, or putting in a bottom in natural gas, but if we just put in a bottom and go sideways, Boyle's going to continue to lose. So I think there's other ones like UNG. That might be a better one. Here's UNG. I've got that kind of charted out. You can see, we've got this. We're kind of back testing. We still have the bullish divergence. So I like that one maybe a little better than the Boyle at this point, only because there's no time decay on it. So still have bullish divergence, so I think we're putting in a bottom and probably can rally up here to 14. It's about $14. All right. So that's that. Now I'll just go ahead and get into your guys' picks. Try to keep your comments to, your stock picks to 1 or 2 max. We got 100 people in here. Drop me a thumbs up too, guys. If you haven't done that, just click that thumbs up. That's supposed to help the Google gods. All right. All right, I talked about Boyle right up, and then let's go ahead and look at some China stocks. It looks like FXI. No change. I talked about this one maybe in the last live stream. Looks bullish. That's it. To me, this looks bullish. All right, we have a downtrend that started back in 21. And this is maybe what, this is the thing. This is maybe what the U.S. stock market's going to look like. This is kind of what I'm expecting, some sort of a rally like that, and then fail. The former high on this, so you really got to, in order to, there's something right in here, it looks like. We'll call it, yeah, it's right about there. We'll call it 34.50. I think you're probably going to rally up to there. And so it's not too much over, there's not too much more upside on that. That's another 7% or so. Yeah, I think that's where that looks like it wants to rally to. And then we'll see. But as of right now, that's what it looks like. You've got no negative divergence on the daily RSI, and it's barely there on the PPO, but not confirmed. So any more upside, it'll burn through that too. If I go down, if I go down to the hourly, there's some negative divergence, so maybe a pullback in the near term. But the larger daily chart still looks bullish to me. All right. Boeing, I don't see anything there. I was looking at it last week. I keep an eye on the trades that I'm interested in, but there's nothing there yet. This is all divergent high on the daily chart. So you'll see here on the PPO, negative divergence and negative divergence on the RSI too. It's an equal high, but it's still a divergent high. All right, so the divergent highs, if I roll out to the daily, this is your downtrend. It's breaking above. This is a breakout, but it's a breakout that's occurring with negative divergence. So as long as that divergence remains intact, then I believe this will be a false breakout. And I'll just continue to stick with that until I see a change in the technical picture. No reason to short it, though, because we don't have a sell signal. We don't have a breakdown back below trend or anything like that. No reversal candlesticks. There's just nothing to say, oh, this looks like a good short. So that's it on that one. All right, guys, if you haven't taken my stock market technical analysis course, quick little pitch on that. I put that together a few years ago, pretty much at the request of my subscribers. Priced it so that it's attainable, but at the same time, I don't want to give the thing away for free. But it is giving away, it is, teaching you in multiple sections and videos, for one, my trading strategy, and then two, really technical skills on how to read the charts, what to look for, kind of the key components of, technical analysis, at least my style. And it's in the description below if you're interested, so check it out. All right. Baba. That's another Chinese stock. I know this one's been moving up. Looks bullish. Same as the Chinese stocks. Now, we're probably going to get a pullback, but the resistance is, as far as I can tell, yeah, I need to probably move this down a little. Right, I think we're at resistance is right about there, which is about 124.50, and I believe it probably heads up there. Bullish momentum, but it's pretty overbought, so I suspect you're going to get a pullback. You probably spike up there and then get a pullback back to the trend line, and no sell signals, so maybe it just does this. All right, and until you see a break of the trend line with negative divergence and stuff, there's just no reason to short it, and it is bullish. Mara, is that CLF? I don't know what. Mara is Bitcoin, so just it's risk on. Obviously, that's what's been going on with the market rally, and that's why I got long recently, and we pretty much caught. You go back to the Qs, and I was talking about that 279.50 as my target. If I roll back to the Qs here, there it is. That was my target. And I was talking about it during Christmas break and all that when we were down here, and there it is. So successful trade. We also caught this short right here. If you guys look at this short, I was looking to short right up in here. If you go back and watch the video from December 13th, you'll see, and especially in the pre-market, it opened up right there at my key level of resistance, which was this downtrend line. And we shorted that thing and caught that short. So we got that. We're doing good. Now it's been risk on, so back to Mara. Just bullish momentum, pretty much like straight up. I don't see any divergences on the hourly. No. I don't see anything that would tell me to short the thing, so it's bullish. You've got this potential trend line here. Yeah. And until that breaks, it's just going up. Something like that is probably the best I could do. You're in this upward price channel, and until we get some divergences and stuff, it's bullish, and it probably goes up here. This was kind of a former area of support, and that would be my target on that one. All right, roll back to the daily. See that breakdown candle? So it held that support through there like once, twice, and then sell signal, breakdown. And so, yeah, that would be the final, that would be my area, big area of resistance right up there. You've got, it's about 942, and then the 200 day is overhead, and I suspect if you're going to hit it, you could pop and hit the 200, but you're going to get rejected right up in there, and that would probably be the area that is most likely objective to short. Of course, we'd need to see some divergences and stuff show up, but that's what I have on that one. SMH, Semiconductors. Okay. Yeah, see, they're breaking out. I suspect this is what the market's going to look like. I think you go a little higher here. Again, we have negative divergence. Like this was your divergence here. And you did get a pullback. But I think we're going to extend this divergence is what I'm guessing. So it probably goes like this, makes a new higher high, and extends the divergence. It'll look like that maybe. And then we fail. You've got this area right here. All right, that would be my target, right up somewhere right up in there, about 247, 248, somewhere right in there. Probably pull that down just a little bit. Yeah. I would say right about there. 246.50 or so. Don't wait for the exact penny. You know, on a $240, $225 instrument, you don't need to, you always want to exit, or you always want to front run a little bit. So if that's your target, you want to, in your long, I would exit a little bit early, especially if you have divergence still intact, but that's probably where it goes. And that's still a decent amount of upside. Another, we're about 9% or so. All right. Now, I don't think you're going to go straight there, to be honest. If you do, it's definitely, like, if it goes straight up like that, it's just a screaming short, most likely, especially if the divergence is there. Because it's just giving you bear market rallies, and that's why this is likely a bear market rally. It's just going straight up. You only see price action that just pretty much goes like straight up. You only see it at the very beginning of a bull market or bear market rallies. And my bet is that, it's another bear market rally. Okay. Neo. Yeah, I would just say you're stuck in this range right here. It's the best I can tell. And you've got your range bound support is about 9, call it 950, and then resistance is right up in this area about 1309, and that's it. A breakout to the upside, you're probably going to hit the 200-day. A break to the downside, you continue lower. So I don't see any divergences really, so it could go either way. Range bound. All right, let's see here. Crowdstrike. Bullish falling wedge for sure. Bullish divergence just showing up now on the daily. There it is. On the PPO. And it's probably here on the RSI. I have to zoom in, but you're right about there. So we've got bullish divergence on the daily, bullish falling wedge. This chart, this is a bullish setup. So I'm going to add this one if I haven't done so already to my longs. This is a bullish setup, but no buy signal. So we need to see a breakout of the wedge. Maybe we get it next week. Maybe we get another move down. I think we probably get a move down. And then breakout is probably what I would bet. And that's just because of the triple Qs. This is going to likely sell off if the triple Q sells off. So that's probably the way I'd be leaning. But you could, so that's it. I would just wait for the buy signal. And until then, it's just a setup. But I definitely like it as a long. And you probably, you got a gap to fill. So I would just... My target's gap entry. All right, kind of fine tune that on the hourly chart. Gap fill. And then you got the 200 overhead. So those would be my 3 targets. 124.82, 136.36, and then the 200. It's probably gonna pull back here at this first gap entry. And then maybe go on to gap fill. But if you get the breakout, like let's say you get a buy signal, all right, and it breaks out, that's a 28% run just to the gap fill, maybe somewhere right in there. I would just take the money and run right there. Catching, that's likely going to be most of the, a big chunk of that move up is going to probably be on the breakout. On the move from the breakout to the gap entry, and then you're probably going to really struggle and eventually get up here, but it's going to be a grind. So I just take the money and run on that first one. Yeah, it's a good setup, a good long setup. All right, Tesla. Well, Tesla is probably going to follow the triple Qs. If I go down to the hourly, you've got negative divergence. All right, so very similar to triple Qs. I think you get a pullback, maybe down to 113, 114, somewhere right in there, 113.50, and then maybe you could rally. But for now, in the near term, I think you get a pullback. GDX, gold stocks. All right, gold stocks. Let's see here. Let me zoom in here. Okay, so burning through the negative divergence on the RSI, or sorry, the RSI. That's kind of interesting. If I look here at the PPO, still have negative divergence, not fully confirmed. All right, if this turns down, it'll confirm that. But the RSI burning through it is that's interesting. It's it's not. That's bullish kind of. I don't know. I definitely wouldn't. I'm not looking for a short here. That's for sure. I have remained bullish on the gold stocks. Now I haven't been talking about them on my channel and pointing out trade ideas. I mean, we had negative divergence before, so for me, I can't, I don't want to load up on gold stocks as a trade idea. I have a separate account that I own some gold stocks. They're more of like a long-term investment play that just, I don't trade that account. So in general, it's a bet that the dollar is going to go lower. That's basically the play. Because I think just in general that should play out. And so I do benefit when the gold stocks go up. And when they go down, it hurts me. But GDX, I don't know. Honestly, it looks bullish to me kind of, but there's still a little bit more I need to see. It's by the dip is what I would say. I continue to say buy the dip on gold stocks and gold in general. And that's probably how I'll just remain. I don't see a trend here that I can really, not a super clean trend. Let me do some homework on this one, but yeah, buy the dip. That's what I'm looking for on those. You probably want to look at Newmont too. Like that would be this one's sometimes easier to chart. I would say that's your trend as of now. We'll just go with about there and buy the dip. We're at the 200, so maybe get a pullback. Let's go down to the hourly. You've got negative divergence on the, on the hourly chart. Even right here, if I just tighten it up and go, there's a negative divergence right there. So I think you get a pullback, all right? Maybe down to this 50-40, but again, I think it's by the dip. So that's probably how I'll treat it until I see something different. We could look at the dollar. So I know the DXY broke this trend line that I had. So here's the DXY. And there's the trend line, and we've broken it here, but we do have bullish divergence. All right, so not a convincing breakdown in my mind. It is a breakdown, so obviously we'll, it's not something I'd go long or anything like that. But if it recovers, then that's a false breakdown bear trap. Okay, and that's the way I'd be leaning as long as these divergences remain. And then the dollar futures are kind of at this long-term trend line support. If I look at the weekly chart, there it is going back to 2011. And, we're basically right there. So decent support. Bullish divergence on the daily. So, maybe a little more downside, but I think you probably are, I would lean towards we're near a bottom and maybe going to get a rally in the dollar, which should be bearish for gold stocks. But, in general, I think it maybe is a rally that, I do think we're going to break this trend line. So I think we rally a little and then roll over. All right, where are we at? Let's see here. Just kind of looking through these Netflix. Yeah. Sava. I don't know what that one is. Let's look at Sava. Biotech. Yeah. I try to stay away from the biotech guys. They're just so news and headline based. They don't usually trade very technically well. They just jump, spike up, spike down on headlines. All right, so Netflix is at resistance. See, it's been struggling with this gap. So there's the gap there at 331.20. And again, I liked buying Netflix when we had the bullish divergence down here. It looked good. And sure enough, you get that gap fill. That's been my target. There is a gap overhead way up here. Obviously, we could get up there. That would be the final target on Netflix if it's going to rally up there. I don't know if it gets up there. For now, I know we're at resistance. So you've got, you know, it's about at 330. If I look at the hourly, and then look at the daily, another divergent high right here. So yeah, I think you get rejected here and sell down. I would look, and this would be my area of support, would be right about there. 278.50. If I go down to the hourly, there's your negative divergence. Okay, so I think you sell down. Moving on. All right, so I've covered triple Qs, so I'm not going to go through the individual fangs because that's pretty much what triple Qs is. What is CE? Is this oil or chemicals? Okay. Looks bullish. All right. On the longer time frame, daily, it looks bullish. Shorter time frame, hourly, you've got negative divergence, so you probably get a pullback. This would be by the dip, is what I would look for, and yeah, probably have to go with something like. That's the best I can do. There's just not enough data right now to make a super clean trend line, but we'll just go with that one. And you know, look at support levels. Little gap right here. So maybe you come down and fill this gap. That's probably about as much as I'd be willing to give it. 111. But I don't know if, you know, there's no sell signal, so it could continue to rally and break in the future. Okay. Does the triple Qs have positive weekly divergence? I think it did. Let me see here. Yeah, right there. See? Positive weekly divergence. So that's why I think there's probably more to rally. We could get all the way up here, I guess. 329. It's hard for me to make huge calls. We're still in the downtrend and we haven't broken that yet. So if we break the downtrend, then I think, yeah, we could rally up to 329. It's going to probably take months to do that. All right, get up there, and that would be a great bear market rally because it would trick everyone. The media would think we're in a new bull market, and everyone would kind of, you know, go back to buying the dip and everything, and it would likely be a really good area for a longer term swing trade to the downside for the next major leg lower in the bear market. But until we, you know, that's a long ways off, so until we start breaking trends and things like that, there's no point in you know, worrying about it. Affirm, huh? AFRM. Let me get off the weekly. Yeah, we're gonna go with that one here. Yeah, breakout for sure. Definitely a breakout. So in the longer term, I guess in general, what I'm thinking, and it's probably going to be true across most of the growth kind of stocks, and that's what this is I think we have a good potential to continue to rally after a pullback. All right, so right now I'm looking for the pullback, After that, I'll probably be looking for more upside. On the daily, let's look at the hourly. This just looks bullish across the board. I don't see, I don't see any real reason why I'd want to short this thing or even be looking for a pullback on this. But again, if the Q sells off, this will probably get that pullback too. All right, let's see here. Shopify. All right, so you see the bullish divergence, huge. I mean, really, this low here was a divergent low, okay? And it looks like it's putting in a near-term, it looks like it had put in a near-term bottom, and you actually have the start of an uptrend. So you've got lower highs, or sorry, higher lows, and you need to put in a higher high, but it's the start of an uptrend after a divergent low on the daily. So yeah, this would be, it's bullish. If I look at the hourly, you've got some negative divergence. So I think you'd get that pullback. I don't, maybe not a huge pullback, but I think you get a pullback and then continue to rally. You've got resistance right here. So that will, let me grab the tool. Sorry, I got to clean this up. Yeah, that's a good level. So I think that's the target on the upside, 45.19. And then from there, you need to see a breakout to buy it. So the way I do it is if I'm long, I would exit my long here, and especially if it's got negative divergence or anything like that. And then I would look for a pullback or something, or you could even flip short. And then if it breaks out, that would be the buy signal to get back in for another move higher. But until we see that, that would be my target, $45. All right. And then NVIDIA is probably doing the same thing. Zoom's probably doing the same thing. GFI is by the dip because that's a gold stock. I did not cover FSLR. I'm not in this one, but I am looking for a short. Just don't see it yet. So you look at the daily, negative divergence on the daily. And if I roll, this thing's pretty low liquidity. I've kind of noticed it's, relatively low liquidity. So it, they can mess with this thing, but negative divergence still remains. We have a new divergent high as of right now. You can see the RSI. Let me zoom in here on the daily chart. No, it's not starting to turn down yet, but definitely negative divergence. And then if I go down to the hourly, negative divergence on the hourly showing up. And you've got this trend line here. It broke, and I do notice that it broke, but they were hanging on to it because we were kind of in the end of the week grind. They just weren't, nobody was going to make a move towards the end of the week. So it just was kind of grinding and lifting higher. So it's not a sell signal yet. I need to see an impulsive breakdown. What I did is kind of marked the lows from Friday. I think you impulsively break that. It's about 177. Get a big breakdown from there. That's probably your sell signal. So some sort of big red candle soon would probably be your sell signal. And then from there, we should sell down. Yeah. So that's all I have on that one. Let's see here. My buy levels on GDX, I'm gonna have to tighten up. I'm not gonna buy GDX. I'll probably, would probably buy Newmont, NEM, or Barrick, GOLD. SPCE, which is okay. So this is all the like meme stuff and the mania stocks that of a couple years ago. On this one, I don't see any real bullish divergence on the daily. Well, you did have it down here. Okay, that's a divergent low. There's the bullish divergence there. And so the trade, at least in my mind, was probably something when you were down here. Somewhere down in here, maybe, was the smart money was buying. And then I don't want to, I wouldn't buy that thing way up here. No negative divergence, really, on the hourly, so it could continue higher. It's probably going to hit the 200, maybe spike above it. I think your price action is going to end. I think you'll get rejected somewhere up in here. Maybe a little more upside, but it's not a long after it's run up this much. I mean, it's up from the lows. The thing is up 60% and 70%. To me, it looks like the ending move where you'd be, wanting to look to exit your position if you were long, but maybe a little more upside. All right. I did cover Tesla already, so I'm pretty sure I went through that one, didn't I? I don't know. Yeah, so again, I think you get that pullback maybe to 113. I did cover this one, so you can go back and watch the video. I did cover Tesla. Etsy, PBF, AMR. AMR. Coal, huh? Energy. Looks like it's topping. This looks like a topping pattern. I mean, this is the nice strong bull run back in 2020. This kind of looks like topping price action to me, but you probably could put in a new divergent high. It's for me, no trade here, but you have this support level. It's about there. Okay, you have 3 distinct reactions defining a support. So until that's broken, there's no reason to short the thing, but it does look like it's topping. So it could just run up, make a new high, and then finally break. Could be flagging out for another monster run up. Again, it's not a long, but it's not a short either, at least in my mind. All right, so I did take a short on V right at the end of the day on Friday. Now, I don't know if it's going to work out. It's not a huge position, but I mean, it's not small. But I figured I'd take a shot at it because I liked the grindy price action. Thanks, Kobe. Appreciate that. I like and I'll get to that next. I like the grindy price action on Friday, kind of that drift, and it just looked like, stop rate at price action. Here's the hourly chart. See the negative divergence? And this is where it was at, kind of grinding up. The last hour of the day spiked and made kind of equal high. That was a divergent high, so I shorted it right there. And I'm looking for a pullback. We've got this upward trend line. We broke it, and it just kind of, it broke and drifted. And so I think we'd go like this. All right, and I talked about that one in the member group. I threw this out in the member group as an idea. Didn't make us money on Friday, but again, this isn't day trading. Sometimes we get lucky. Sometimes we make money in the day, and sometimes we make money. It's a swing trade, and so I believe I took the short, and I think we at a minimum head down here to 218.50, which would be it's a 2%. So that's that. I think there's probably some more downside beyond that, given the nature of this hourly divergence. It should be good for more, and maybe down to here, 205. And yeah, maybe even a lot more. Okay, so if we start rolling over soon, you're going to have that negative divergence on the daily chart. All right, and if I zoom in on the RSI, you can see it's starting to roll over. So I do think, hey, thanks, Jacqueline, appreciate that. You guys, thanks for the super chats. I do really appreciate that. It's just a nice gesture, so I do appreciate that. So on V, I like it as a short. All right, we'll see if that works out. But the RSI is starting to turn down, so if it'll be even a better short if I start to see negative divergence on the daily. Kind of help confirm and extend out. We had negative divergence before. If I roll out to it looked like that. All right, this was divergent highs. And if we can extend it and keep the negative divergence, then it's just even better. And it tells me this is a bigger swing trade to the downside, which is probably going to set us up for a move. I would go with that one. Well, these are my levels, and then all the way down here. So either, 195, 196, 190, and I would actually be probably even betting that it gets down to the lower trend line down here. And I don't know when or where, so I don't know the price, but that is the short setup. Now, we don't have the negative divergence on the daily yet, so I need to see that. And if I start getting that, I'll need to see an entry back into this channel, all right, this channel here. And if I get that, then I am expecting we probably head to the bottom of the channel, and I'll likely just remain positioned for that. But first things first, hourly chart, need to start breaking down relatively soon. We could pop up on Monday and make a new divergent high, but I think these highs that we make should get rejected, so that's what I'll be looking for. As long as we can, continue to, if we pop up to 224, 225, I want to see it get rejected there. All right, that's it. All right, let me get into some of these super chats. Appreciate those, guys. Thank you, Challenger Ferrari. All right, Kobe, STEM. Let's see here. Okay, so pretty low price stock, getting down into the junk stock price, penny stock stuff. So recognize that. The lower the price, usually these things can get, they're sometimes harder to chart. Get rid of that one. So this is support. This looks like decent support. I like this. I like the undercut right here. That's a bear trap. That undercut, I suspect there was bullish divergence on the hourly. There it is. See the undercut right here? See the bullish divergence on the hourly telling you, oh, probably a bear trap. Not guaranteed, but probably. Everything's in probabilities in this game. And sure enough, so it wouldn't be a buy signal down there, but it would have been on the recovery. The big spike here, I'd be like, oh, there's your buy signal. Bear trap. I'd be looking for the bear trap because of the divergence. And when I saw the bear trap sprung, I'd be like, oh, there's your buy signal. All right, and then from there, even if you took it at the end of this hourly candle, things up 20%. So I like that. And then, hey, thanks, Glenn. Lily, really appreciate that. Thank you. It's a very nice gesture. I'll get to all these super chats pretty soon. I'll just go through them. So you've got negative divergence. It's not confirmed on the hourly. You have it, but if this keeps going up, you're not going to have it. So it's not enough to say, oh, I want to short this thing. And then what I would probably do is mark out this. It looks like you've got this upward trend line. So it's in an uptrend. And until this trend is broken, it's in an uptrend. Now, if you start seeing negative divergence show up, you could maybe be on the lookout for a break of trend, maybe tighten stops and things like that. But there's no break of trend, so it's in an uptrend. And that's it. I mean, I don't even love this trend line here because of all this price action above it. So I'd be bullish. I'd be bullish on that one and buy the dip kind of thing until you see a break of trend. All right, next up, Jacqueline didn't have anything, but thanks for the super chat. Challenger Ferrari KLAC. XBI, huh? Okay, we'll get to that. Industrials. All right, KLAC. So, what are we looking at here? Semis. So I did cover the SMH, which, this should pretty much follow. To me, this looks like the bull market trend that was started in 2015. So longer term, you're still in that uptrend. You've got negative divergence on the daily. All right, so there's the kind of a divergent high right now. Not fully confirmed, but if this starts to turn down, it will confirm. So I would be looking for... It's about the best trend line I can make on this thing right now. Yeah, so I don't know. I think you probably continue to... Sorry if you guys hear a dog barking. We got a new puppy. Sorry if... yeah, so if you continue to see this divergence hold, then I think you're probably going to break soon. But it's not enough for me to go off of. Watch the semis, SOXX, SMH, things like that. So here's my potential negative divergence I'm looking for, but I think, semis might rally a little more. So probably going to run up like that, 421.75, then break down. That's what I'd be looking for. And so KLAX would likely do the same thing. So your former high right here is way up here. I suspect you make a new high. All right, I suspect you make a new high, and then it's going to be a divergent high, and then you break down. All right, very similar to SOXX. That's what I'd be looking for. All right, moving on. XBI. This is our industrial sector. Or no, this is biotech. Sorry, I was thinking XLI. All right, XBI. This is a better way to play biotechs, I guess, in my mind, because of the diversification. Biotechs are just not my favorite. But, all right, so here's resistance right up here. And support looks right about here. So, in general, let me see if I can grab that. I always have a hard time finding this rectangle tool. I always have to look for it because I don't use it very often. It's right in here somewhere. Yeah, so there's a range. All right, that's the range that I'd be looking at, and that's it. You're bouncing within the range. Looks like you're heading to the top of the range, which is about 95.81. Bottom of the range, about 78, 79, 80, somewhere right in there. Not 8, yeah, somewhere right. It's about 78 to 79 is the bottom of the range. They kind of pierce through it a little bit. If I go down to the hourly, okay, so you don't have negative divergence right now. So, it looks like you're probably going to have negative divergence soon, but we don't have it right now. So what I would think the best bet I can make is, I think this continues to rally and probably up to the top of the range. looks like you've got support right there. So I would just say we're going to continue to rally. You know, near-term support is right in here. Hold on. Make sure I can get that right. Yeah, right in there. And that's about 86.50. I don't see negative divergence. I just see bullish price action, bullish momentum. So in general, I just have to say it continues higher. And then I kind of gave you that top of that range. So 90, you know, don't even, you know, it's probably down around 95 to be honest. Because I've got these reactions back here. So that's it. Moving on. And I'm gonna do one more, and then I gotta get going, guys. So let me see what we got. K-Web. What is K-Web? I covered China stocks already, so I know I didn't do that one specifically, but I did gave you my read on the China stocks. Same with BABA. BABA looks bullish. I think I already covered BABA, to be honest, but I covered Visa in pretty good detail. Crispin, CRSP, I believe is what that is. SLB, that's Slumberger. Let me take a quick look at Slumberger real quick. At resistance. Or near. Close enough in my book. Upward price channel. This one's, you know, this is decent. Upward price channel. At resistance though. So they might play games right up here. But in general... You know, it is negative divergence. It's not super clean. You've got it barely on the PPO, and I don't really have it on the RSI. So I suspect they're going to play some games up here, build negative divergence, maybe pop this a little bit, stuff like that, and then probably roll over. So the best bet I could say is, you know, look for some games to get played, maybe make divergent highs, and then look for a sell signal or a failure, some sort of a bull trap where you break back into the range. You see that, you're probably going to head to the bottom of the range. All right, and not all at once. We look for support levels, but Nike. I'd have to come back and do some homework on this one. You know, I have this long-term trend line, but I don't like it anymore. I got to get rid of that one, to be honest. Because you had the break during COVID, and that was fine, but you had another break and a recovery. It's just, it's not good enough, that trend line. So I got to get rid of that one. All right, so we're going to go with this. I'm going to adjust that because we have 3 data points to go off of. 1, 2, 3. No negative divergence on the daily. Negative divergence on the hourly. So longer term still looks okay. Shorter term, probably get a pullback. Big gap to fill there. But I don't know if you're going to get a gap fill on that divergence. Probably go with that. Look at that on the hourly. You know, it has negative divergence. So you're going to, if you break that, then yeah, you probably head lower. Gap entry and gap fill would be the 2 targets. I don't know if you're going to get this gap fill. It's just a long ways down there. But this one looks okay. Right there. And that would be 115, we'll call it. For now, that's probably the best I'd want to, you know, maybe a 10, 11% drop. That's about as good as I'd give it. You could hold out, but I would definitely be taking profit. If you're going to short this thing, again, it's not a short yet. You need to see a break of trend for the sell signal. pull back to gap entry. You could take profit there, and then just wait for the break into the gap to reshort it. That's another sell signal. Unless you get that, you're not gonna break down. So for me, I would probably just make the play down to gap entry, and then cover my short, and then wait to see if this is gonna go lower or not. All right. I think that's all I got, guys. Hopefully I provided some value. Drop me a thumbs up if you haven't done so on your way out. Check out the course. And if you're not a member, I feel, lots of members in here. But if you're not a member, it's $5 a month. I'm in there giving you guys additional trade ideas and market insight. I don't get everything right, but I do, nobody does. So I do try to get most of it right. And so if you guys are finding value in that, those are the products I have. And I will catch you guys on Tuesday. All right, take care.